What would you do if you were born without arms, without legs? For most people, the thought is unimaginable. But for Nick Vujicic, that was his reality. Born with a rare condition called tetra-amelia syndrome, Nick came into this world without arms and without legs. From the very first day of his life, the odds were stacked against him. Yet today, Nick is not defined by what he lacks. He is celebrated for what he gives. A global speaker, a best-selling author, a man who has touched millions of lives across over 70 countries. His story is not one of pity, but of power. Not about disability, but about possibility. Nick Vujicic proves to us that the biggest limitations we face are not the ones we see in the mirror. They are the ones we place in our minds. Nick was born in 1982 in Melbourne, Australia. His parents were heartbroken at first. They didn't know how their child would survive, how he would live, how he could ever have a normal life. And as Nick grew, he felt the weight of those doubts. School was tough. Children can be cruel, and Nick often faced bullying. They laughed at him. They pointed fingers. They called him names. And deep inside, he struggled with feelings of hopelessness. He couldn't understand why he was born this way. At just 8 years old, Nick tried to take his own life. He felt he would never fit in, never be loved, never have purpose. Imagine the pain of being a child, already believing that your life has no value. But something inside Nick refused to give up. A small voice told him that maybe his life could still mean something. Nick realized that while he couldn't change the fact that he was born without arms and legs, he could change how he saw his life. He began to focus on what he could do instead of what he couldn't. He learned to write by holding a pen between his toes. He learned to use a computer. He found ways to swim, fish, and even play soccer. Slowly, Nick discovered that his disability didn't have to define him. By the time he was a teenager, Nick was speaking at small school events. At first, he was nervous, but soon he saw something powerful. When he shared his story, people listened. And not only did they listen, they were inspired. His pain was giving others strength. His scars were becoming someone else's survival guide. Nick's message grew bigger as he grew older. He started speaking at churches, conferences, and events. Eventually, he founded a non-profit organization called Life Without Limbs. Nick's speeches are not about pretending life is easy. They are about facing life as it really is. Hard, messy, full of pain, and choosing to rise anyway. He talks about how he once believed he had no future, but then he realized something profound. You don't need arms and legs to live a meaningful life. You just need purpose and love. Nick's story spread across the world. From standing on massive stages with tens of thousands of people listening to appearing on shows like 60 Minutes and Oprah's Life Class, Nick became a global voice of hope. Nick didn't just find success in his career, he also found love. In 2012, he married Kanai Miyahara. Today, they are proud parents of 4 children. The man who once believed he'd never be loved now has a family that proves love knows no limits. Nick has written best-selling books like Life Without Limits and Unstoppable. In them, he shares his message of resilience, faith, and purpose. His words continue to reach millions, reminding us that no obstacle is too great, no challenge too big. When we choose to live with hope, Nick's life gives us powerful lessons we can all apply. Our limitations do not define us. Pain can be turned into purpose. Resilience is built by focusing on possibilities, not impossibilities. And no matter how dark life gets, there is always hope. So what does Nick Vujicic's story mean for us? It means that no matter what you're facing, no matter how impossible your situation may seem, there is always a way forward. Maybe you've failed in business. Maybe you've been rejected. Maybe you're fighting an illness or carrying scars no one else can see. Whatever your battle is, Nick's story reminds you that your struggle does not have to be the end. We often say, I can't do it because I don't have enough time, money, resources, or talent. Nick shows us that those excuses are lies. If a man with no arms and no legs can find joy, love, and success, then what's really stopping you? The truth is, the only limits that exist are the ones you accept. Nick Vujicic once said, if I fail, I try again and again and again. If you fail, are you going to try again? Because the truth is, if you don't try, you'll never know what's possible. His life proves that adversity can be the very thing that shapes your destiny. He shows us that strength is not about what we have, it's about what we choose to believe. The boy who thought his life had no value became one of the most powerful voices of hope in the world. You too have the power to rise above your challenges. You too can live without limits, because resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about refusing to stay broken. And if Nick Vujicic can rise, so can you.